Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hi. I'm good.
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 Good. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
How's your day going so far?
Yeah, it's been going great. I've been biking around the lake, and then I've been having a meeting, and then I watched my daughter has like this they had this summer concert at their kindergarten sort of. So I went to that also. So
Oh,
yeah, it's been a
fun.
good day.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I feel so bad for the kids that have to do that. I know it's fun for us parents, but I remember doing that as a kid too, and I have watched my son do those as well, and I always feel so bad for him because it's got to be so awkward for them, but so much fun to watch on the outside.
Yeah, my daughter was a bit nervous, but she is actually a little bit like me. I think she likes being on stage, so it's like, yeah, he was like really prepared in a way that kids that are 5 years old usually don't are, I think.
Oh,
So
that's true. Yeah, that'll come
yeah,
later, that
yeah,
those
exactly.
concerts.
So yeah, it was nice to see she really like did all the moves and stuff like that. So
Do they have to dress up?
what?
Do they have to dress up?
No, not really.
Oh, that's
Like they had nice clothes on, but it was more like summer
yeah.
dresses and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they're not in Sweden. It's not much so much like that. I mean, they can have whatever they want, sort of
Yeah.
like what they want to, what they feel pretty in, So
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I
yeah.
remember in one of them that my son did when he was younger. He's 16 now, but he had to dress up as like a mosquito, I think it was supposed to be, and they were all
Wow.
bugs. It was cute,
But was
but
that for a concert, or was it more like a play or something, or?
well, I mean, I guess it had kind of a few play components, but it was mostly them just up there singing songs about bugs.
Right, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
It was cute, but I could tell he was just at that age because
He was
it
really
was
embarrassed,
he
or
was
how
so
old was
embarrassed.
he?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He was probably like 7 or 8, or eight,
Yeah.
maybe even 9. Like it was definitely starting to get into that. I am too old for this,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
but so I've listened to the album. I don't even know how many times at this point. It's you guys are always just so automatic, so good. You've released 3 songs now. The third one just this
Yeah, it
morning.
came out today. Yeah,
Such
exactly.
such a fun video.
The crazy video. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
it
it's
was
so
really Peder really went nuts this time. But
it
it's
was
like it's a freedom to be in a band with Greenleaf, because it's nice that we can do stuff like that and people really understand us, sort of. I think we come to that point now where it's like we can do this stuff that it's okay to be as crazy, stupid as we are sometimes, which is really nice.
oh, I think it's so much fun. But it's interesting with different horses, because even though the videos, is crazy,
Yeah,
it's a very serious
theme,
story
yeah.
behind it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I work in mental health as well. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that looks like probably a schizophrenia fungus.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's really about a person with cancer, sort of, that has this. I mean, the person also has a lot of other problems with the head, but it's sort of like first go through all the analysis, and then all the chemo, all the stuff like that. I, I was a healthcare when I before. Right now I'm not in this area, but for a client that I helped, and then his brother got sick in this, and it's, and he was quite young, like, but still not too young, and then it's like he could not. it was really hard for him to come past, like he got well, but the story is more a lot about to actually realize that you're well, you know, that
Oh,
you first get it and then you can't get rid of it because
yeah,
it's always there knocking at your door, like mind your horses, they're at your doorstep, you know, and trying to like move on in that. And that's sort of the theme of the song. That's what I got inspired of when I wrote it, sort of like people that always think they're still sick, sort of. Like I think it's a pretty interesting subject, sort of. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I think we're all guilty of that in different things in life, like getting stuck on a certain, I don't know, personality trait or diagnosis or whatever that
Yeah,
we
exactly. The
kind of,
whole album is a lot about mental health and like issues with loops in your head, like why you cannot fall asleep because you think that people think something, or you know, I had a lot of that stuff with me for a while, and now I work with that sometimes when I help clients now with drug abusers and stuff like that, and it's like it's a lot of stuff going on in their heads, which are kind of, I find it really interesting, but also it's reflecting on myself as well, like how do you get out of a loop? And it's the same with breathe out. That's more about like, you know, it's gonna be fine, you know, to just let yourself, don't think that everything is shit before you really know it's shit, sort of, you
right,
know. And those type of themes are like going through the whole album. It was a kind of interesting way of writing lyrics because it's, I mean, the last album was so self-reflecting, sort of, and this is more about the general stuff we have in our heads, you know.
right.
It has this dark theme, but it always does because I am like that. It's the same when I write with pools also. It's like it's funny, my girlfriend says I can't write happy songs, but it's it's more interesting with the darkness, I think.
Well, I think it's obviously a part that all of us have, and I think sometimes recognizing that it's a normal thing is
Mm.
comforting. So it's appreciative for people to be able to discuss those things that, you know, especially like on social media, like we don't talk about those things, or even face to face, like we don't discuss those things. And so I think it's really important to not feel alone. And so I appreciate it that that's
Yeah.
where you write from.
Yeah, and I mean, I work with youth now sometimes, and it's also that you see that, I mean, in Sweden, it's the youth are feeling so much worse now than they
Hmm.
did 20 years ago,
Hmm.
statistically. And it is because they are self-reflecting all the time because
Yeah.
of social media and stuff like that. And it's a real health issue. Like,
Hmm.
also the suicide rates have gone up a lot, and it's like, because there's also so many new ways of bullying or feeling bad about how you look and stuff like that. And it's, so I think it's a topic that, I mean, it is discussed, but it should be lifted way more, sort of.
I agree. I agree. And
Yeah,
I think COVID made it even that much worse because then there was only socializing through
exactly,
mhm,
exactly. And
for a
it, and
while.
and kids couldn't go to school, so they did everything from home, and then it's even more of that. And so,
Yeah.
so yeah, my girlfriend walked by.
Oh,
So, but yeah, so it's a lot about that stuff, sort of.
important stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Tricking Tree. I love that song. I have played
Mm.
it probably 20 times back to back.
Yeah, that's the like that's one of the most dramatic ones.
Well, there
I
you go.
I I I had it's actually one of the songs on the album that I find harder to listen to because it's uh the voice is so naked in a way in the chorus, that I was not so fond of from the beginning, but Tommy really loved it because
Yeah.
it gave so much space for the melody, sort of. But you know, listening to yourself, it's a bit, sometimes it can be a bit tough. I mean, I'm used to it, but it's but yeah, that's a lot about what we just talked about, that song. Like the tricking tree is sort of like the, how would you call it, like the fountain of youth, you know, that you always try to, there's this culture now of always trying to be young, sort of, and this to trick the reality, sort of. And I don't remember the lyrics exactly, but the generation of kids watching screens and stuff like that, and reflecting and comparing themselves to something that is not real. And so the song is a lot about that, but also in sort of a mystic history way, that I write a lot like that, you know, that I like Tolkien and stuff like that. So I always try to, especially with the darker, when the songs are a bit darker in the tones, then I try to write it like it was almost like a dark kid story or something like that. You know, like yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting that you say that, because when I was listening to the lyrics, you talk about the crow with the one eye. And even though ravens and crows are entirely
yeah.
different birds, but in my mind, I just clump them together. So I was like Edgar Allan Poe, and then I was thinking of Ray Bradbury because of the
Yeah,
tricking
yeah, yeah.
tree, and it was like going the
Yeah,
Dark Tower.
yeah, exactly. And that's also, that's kind of the idea. And I'm also thinking a lot about like Nordic mythology, because
Mhm.
we also have a raven with one eye and that knows everything. And so it's a lot of stuff like that that I kind of put in and try to compare it to the reality of today, sort of. But yeah.
It's a very good song. I think I'm glad that I'm sorry that it's uncomfortable for you at times, but I
Oh,
think
it's
it's a
okay. I mean,
beautiful
that's
song.
the way it is sometimes. I mean, there are some songs on this album that are very naked, like that and Obsidian Grin,
That's
and
the next one I was gonna bring up.
yeah, yeah, and Obsidian Grin is a funny one because it's like, oh, well, it's basically a soul blues song, sort of, that
Exactly.
we just jammed it up the last thing we did in the rehearsals when writing, and Tommy just said like, you're singing so well in this type of songs, so let's just do one of these and just do it like a live take, sort of, in the studio. And I think it was the first or the second take I did
Oh,
that is actually a full take of the whole. So, and I loved how the way it came out, because it really sounds like this Joe Cooker sort of grimy. And I was also really sore in the voice then, because I've been doing a lot of songs before that in the studio. So it was like the perfect ending. I thought it was going to be the last song, but then we decided that Alabastrians was going to be the last one. So, but I love the way it's ending the A side of the album, because it's so intense first with like Breathe, Avalanche, and yeah, a wolf in my mind, you know, and then it comes down to that. And I love this type of dynamics in the album. Like I really want people to listen to the whole album. The problem sometimes nowadays is that people just listen to the singles, but this is really an album that you're supposed to go through the whole flow to understand it, sort of. So,
yes.
but that's the great thing with people in this type of genre, because listeners actually listen to the whole albums.
That's
So
so true. That's so
it's a really
true.
wonderful thing. It's a privilege to write music like this, because people are really interested in albums still. So,
Yes, thank goodness.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
So with Obsidian Grin, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, this is like a blues song, and you have such a bluesy voice that when you mix the musical elements with that, it's just magical. What was it? March of the Higher Grounds that you guys
yeah,
kind of did the same. I mean, this one is obviously much more bluesy, but um the lyrics though on that one as well, like that one lyrically really hit me. Yeah, I tell me about where you came up with those lyrics.
Yeah, that's sort of like a reflection of personal things that I had from before. So that's like something that it's a lot about like it's sort of about trusting issues, I think. The lyric, like what a man, what a nuisance, you know, like what will this person bring? Is this somebody I can trust? I had a lot of problems with trusting for a while, you know, because of stuff that happened. And I think that's like sort of the, and I wanted to do it in a very bluesy way. Like I really wanted to write a straight up blues lyric. So it is this repeating thing with the obsidian grin and stuff like that, but with a kind of little bit more modern twist. So that's sort of what it is about. Like this, like. Is this person is this person real? Is this person that good, or is it just a facade? And like, can you really trust it? And if you go into this cave, will you come out, and will it work and stuff like that, you know? Like the fear of jumping a leap,
Yeah,
and like how to, yeah,
be
how to
vulnerable
be able
again.
to do, yeah, exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what's so crazy? The last time we talked was for Echoes from a Mass, and we had
yeah.
discussed what the album was about. And this time us talking, now I'm going through it.
Oh shit,
Isn't
I'm so
that
sorry.
crazy? It's okay. It's
Yeah,
like it's the right of life, I guess, you know, but so crazy. I was like, oh, it's so
yeah,
crazy that 3 years later, here we are. And, I
yeah,
need to go back and listen to that album.
yeah.
Um,
It might be comforting. Yeah,
I think it will. I think it will, but I
yeah,
think that's why Obsidian Grin hit me so much too. Plus, it's
yeah.
just a beautiful song. You just have such a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Mhm.
It's like almost a comforting voice. I grew up on 70s rock, and of course,
Mm,
Greenleaf has, some of those elements with
mm.
like you said, more modernized. But yeah, you just have a voice that's it's just a comfort. I don't know how to explain it. And so every time I listen to Greenleaf since you've been with fifth album now, right?
Yeah, fifth album now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so now you're
exactly.
like
Time moves fast. I've been in Greenleaf for 10 years now. It's crazy.
crazy,
Yeah,
crazy. But yeah, it's just how you have those voices that every time you return to them, you feel like home. I
yeah.
have a few like Catatonia is another.
That's really nice to hear, because that's sort of the singers that I love the most as well. Like I really like kind of deep voices, and I really like high-pitched voices that sing soulish, sort of. So I love Robert Plant, of course, but I also like Bill Withers, for example, and yeah, uh, yeah, Jim Morrison, of course, but mostly like black singers that has this, you know, they can really hit the note and also yell, but it's still so warm.
Yes,
Like it's still this emotion about it, not
yes,
pushing it too much. It never goes in the throat in that way, you know. It's like this cushion, sort of, you know, like soft, and that's what I've grown up on, and that's how I like to handle my own voice. So I don't like to sing in this metal way that a lot of people do, like, you know, trying to sound like James Hetfield or something like that. I like it more when it's like, when it is distorted, it should come from the stomach, sort of like, should really be this uh, natural distortion, sort of.
right.
So that's what I'm always aiming at, and that means that I'm singing really soft sometimes as well, and that's something that I think actually would be great if some people did it more in the genre, because I think it some people do, and I think it gives a bigger purpose to the whole song, sort of.
Yeah, I think it seems more genuine. It's
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Not so
yeah.
faked, exactly. It's more like, yeah, but it takes a lot of years to.
Oh, I
to
bet.
work that out, you know, and also to be able to sing really high at the same time, sort of, because you have to sometimes because it's really loud music. I mean, when I sing other styles of music, I don't have to push that much to
Right.
sound distorted anyways. Sort of
Mhm.
like with pools, I never had to do that in the same way, for example, you know.
Yeah.
So it is something that I also am getting better at all the time with playing with Greenleaf. And because we also did so many shows now, so not to hurt my voice, I have to think that not sing too hard, but still sound the way I do, sort of. So, uh,
Especially when you're doing it
yeah,
night after night, right?
exactly, because then the muscles build up and then you're doing it naturally after a while. But it takes a couple of shows every tour to kind of get into that mode, sort of. Yeah.
Speaking of shows, are you guys planning on, and I know it's so much easier said than done, but coming over to the States at some point?
We really hope that we can manage something next year. It's I'm not gonna say anything, promise anything, but there is a goal of going over, and I have no idea how much it's gonna be. But now with Magnetic also pushing, it seems like it's soon time to do that. Yeah, and I would love to do it. It's just really problematic
Yeah.
because you have the visas are so expensive, and I mean also the distances in the US is completely shit compared to Europe and also backline over there like good booking company, the right shows, still not losing money too much when we come back. So I know it's a lot of people pushing. I also know that it's a lot of American people that's asking all the time, and I really hope that we can manage it soon. But I'm not gonna, you know, it's it's also up to so many people to kind of coordinate and work it out.
Yes.
But it would be a great thing. I also like I've been in the US, but it was a long time ago. So it was it was when I was a kid. So
Oh,
I really hope that I can come back, you know. And it would be great to play there, of course. So
yeah. If you
I
guys do
also have
end
a dream of visiting New Orleans, so I'll see if I can do that at some point of
a dream of what?
visiting New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's like your
Yeah,
home away from home.
exactly. It feels like that. Yeah. I think I saw the Treme show like 3 times in a row or something.
Jeez. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that would be cool. If you guys do end up coming this way and you are able to make an Idaho stop, get a hold of me ahead of time and don't, there's some
Yeah.
places I'll tell you not to go to.
Okay. Yeah, 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 of course.
And I have people around here that can book you in better places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds good. But there is a lot of more American management right now, so I think that it's gonna make it easier to actually do it. It's like it's also that we are continuously playing all the time, and it's like just a train rolling, and we just take the stuff that is working. And with Greenleaf, it's also that finally we are earning okay money, sort of like when we're playing, and then we have to do the European shows also because we have to, you know, we still have day jobs, but it's getting easier to be away, sort of. And that's also like that's the struggle of the musician today because you don't earn money from
Yeah,
record revenue, so you have to play a lot, sort of.
yeah,
So
yeah, which is
which is great.
so
I love playing, but at the same
it's
time, it's
so
also like,
unfortunate though.
yeah,
Music, I say this all the time. Music is such a huge part of almost everybody's life. Like it's our therapy away from therapy. It's our comfort when we feel alone. I really wish the musicians were financially paid better to give them what they give us. And like it makes me so nervous, the music industry, that like the music's going to stop at some point. And I guess we'll always have the music that's been created, but I know it's harder and harder for musicians to be able to make it work. And I'm like, please, please, like switch the industry around so that way the music keeps coming.
mm. Yeah, it's like of course it's good in that way that it spreads a lot now because if you are a good band and you got an interest, then it's easier to
Get it
get
out
the stuff
there.
out there. But there's also massive releases, you know, so it's like but it is what it is. I'm not gonna stop. I love it too much, but it's like yeah, that's the thing with the US, that it's been so tricky to
Mhm.
get it rolling in a financial way that it could work, sort of, and
Yeah.
that's what we want it to do, sort of. So, because it's shit if you go on a tour and then you lose like 5,000 euros. It's like that is not the way it's supposed to be, not at this level at least, I think. So
Mm. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Um, Something I like to ask everybody, because I think it's an important question. What are some things you do to help balance yourself for self-care, whether you're on the road or whether you're at home or both? How do you take care of your mental health and yourself?
For me, it's a lot about that's the trickiest thing for me when I'm on tour, that I don't get to have my routines, because
Hmm.
I exercise a lot. Like I go to the gym maybe 5 times a week,
Hmm.
and that's like been my I took medicine for a while when I was feeling bad, but training was the best way for me to solve it. Like, so I actually, rowing is kind of my thing,
Oh,
and
cool.
biking. So I go on the rowing machine for at least 20 minutes almost every day. And after that I feel better. Like
Yeah.
then I can handle all the issues that you have, you know? So that's my thing. So on the tour I try to not drink so much. I drink alcohol, but I drink very little in the start of the tour. Maybe I celebrate a bit more in the end. And then I also have this training program that I do in the hotel room every morning. And I'm like really a morning person. So I go up way earlier than everybody else. And then I do like, I don't know, 80 burpees with push-ups and stuff like that.
Jeez.
Yeah,
You're
it's
a
nice to be in
machine
shape also. It's good for the stage as
for
well.
sure.
So yeah, and it gives me confidence and I feel better. I'm not as irritated as I usually am. And so so that stuff helps. Either it's really good to I also don't, that's a voice thing, but I don't listen so much to music with singing in when I'm on tour.
Oh, mhm.
Almost only instrumental music or podcasts, because I tend to analyze voices a lot, and if I'm a little bit sore in the throat, I get irritated because I feel that I couldn't sing like this person is doing, sort of. It's like a weird thing,
You're
but
comparing
also
yourself. You're
like
not supposed
there's
to do
so
that.
much good instrumental music that's like that takes away the focus from the vocals, and I think so much about the vocals always, so that's like something that I do also. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense that listening to instrumentals would make you not have to work while when you're listening to music with vocals, it probably feels like work
Exactly. It's a
because you're
little bit
picking it
like
apart
that.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
What are some
So
of
a
your
lot of
favorite?
lot of
Oh, go ahead.
instrumental bands I like a lot. I actually like a lot of Swedish bands there. There is one fantastic instrumental band called Gösta Berling Saga,
Ooh,
that is kind of like prog rock slash industry slash jazz. It's like weird, but it's really cool. And there is another jazz band called Tonbruket, which I like a lot. Uh, And there is this trumpet player that I listen to a lot that is called Ibrahim Maluf.
ooh.
That is also like weird stuff as fuck. But yeah, a lot of stuff like that. Stuff that you maybe wouldn't think I'm listening to. And what more? Like, no, but music in that type of era around that. Other than that, I listen a lot to everything. Like I listen to everything from Fleet Foxes to Tool, you know. It's like and old soul music, and you know, whatever is good,
Yeah.
like that is really good, sort of like. So
Um, I got to go see the Sasanta tour in Utah. It had
yeah.
a Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and Primus, and
Oh yeah.
it was so cool. But Pussifer, I don't know if you've ever listened to them, but they
No, I haven't.
oh, they're incredible. It's Maynard from Tool. But
Oh,
he
okay.
has a gal, Karina Round, that sings with him, and they're a they're a different band. It's kind of
Yeah.
a I like music that's very different. It keeps me
Yeah.
on my toes. But their harmonizing together is something so magical. She's got an incredible voice, and live it was beautiful.
Oh, cool. I have to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out yours too because those sound really interesting too.
Yeah.
You said weird. I automatically was like, yep, that's for me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
big Mr. Bungle fan, if that tells you anything.
Yeah. 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 I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I listen to a lot, and in the genre that we're in, sort of, I love stuff with Melvins and, like, yeah, like whatever comes in. I like for a while I listened a lot to All Them Witches also. I think they're
Oh,
great. Yeah. Um, in the genre, I think they're one of the best. Like they're so diverse, and I love that. And they have this own bubble where they can do whatever they want, it feels like, and it's freeing, and he also has this voice that is comforting. He
yes,
has that typical type of voice that can be loud and angry, but also so comforting, sort of.
yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah.
What are some
Okay.
things that you do in your spare time outside of the working out?
Mm, well, I right now I do a lot of different things. I mean, I work as a social worker sometimes. I also do graphics and designs and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Um, 2 days a week for a firm, and sometimes 2 day, one day. So it's a lot of. I mean, I started doing art and stuff like that during Corona, sort of more. I've been doing posters and stuff like that before, but I got into it more because there was not so. I mean, I did a lot of records, of course, but still, I had to no shows. So then
Right.
I created stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just social stuff, like except for training. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Seeing friends, handling my daughter every other weekend. Yeah.
yes. The best part of life. Speaking of which, you did the cover of this album,
Yeah,
correct?
exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to take much more of your time, but I did want to just ask you real quick about it because it's a pretty thought-provoking piece. Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I used some elements of AI to do it with the use of my lyrics,
Hmm.
and then my girlfriend is a graphic designer also, so then we created layouts and stuff together, and we made a theme also for the art book and a lot of different pictures, and everything was supposed to be uh, by the lyrics, like the stuff that you can kind of have in your head, like it would look a bit like a dream, sort of like how you see landscapes and stuff like that. So I try to create it in that way, and then I edited it and used filters and stuff like that, and I think it came out really cool. So
It is really cool.
yeah,
I'm definitely going to pick up the album because I want to see the rest of it in that book. Plus, I like listening to albums. It's a raw
yeah,
way of listening to raw music, which is perfect.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking this time with me, Arvid. It's always
No
great to chat with
problem.
you.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's a beautiful album. I'm really excited for everybody else to be able to hear it. And in the meantime, I'm going to selfishly continue to listen to it while they
Yeah.
don't get to.
That's good. I do that too. I'm probably going to be tired of it when it comes out.
Oh,
But
well, I guess you with creating it might be, but
yeah, but this one I actually listened to quite a lot myself also. I was that's like a funny thing about this album because I was a bit like exhausted when we started with this, that I because the Echoes from a Mask took so much energy from me. So I was a little bit like, oh shit, what the hell am I gonna do now? Because creatively I felt a bit like this is not gonna be a good album because I don't have anything left. But then when Tommy comes with the riffs, it's like it's so crazy with him because he never stops, he's like a machine. So then it was
yes.
just like, okay, I pick up the bar and then we go. And then after a while I was like, both me and Tommy were a little bit like, okay, this one is actually turning out quite well. That's
Oh,
good.
it's so good. And
Yeah,
I'm
and
a
also
huge
I have to say this because I'm really, really proud of both Hans and Sebastian's work on this album because I mean, both of them, they deliver so much on this album. If you listen to the drumming, it's pretty crazy sometimes what he does nowadays. Like, he's such a machine when it comes to bringing rhythms. It's like, and we were really pushing him in the studio, especially Daniel, the producer that we always use. And I think he really delivered on this one. And it's very, very cool. So,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. I mean, all musicianship in I mean all the albums, but yeah, it does evolve more and more for sure.
yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
awesome. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I appreciate you taking the
Thank you. I
time.
have another interview now in like
Oh my
20 minutes,
goodness.
I think.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, hopefully it goes well and you get a break
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. We actually going to the cinema later
Oh,
to see
fun. What are
the
you gonna go
new
see?
Planet of the Apes new
Oh,
movie.
fun.
Yeah. We
Oh,
watched
fun.
the last one yesterday, so we're in the mood, sort
There you go. You're right in that.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them, which is nuts.
The one before this one was pretty good actually.
Was
We
it?
were a bit like,
I need
yeah,
to
it's
jump
so
into
cool
those.
that you're sharing on the apes. I love
Oh,
that.
that
You want the humans to die.
oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think us people that are deep thinkers and feelers have a love and hate relationship with humanity.
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah. And that's the theme, you know. So,
Right, right.
so,
Yeah, I need to
but
go
yeah.
watch them. You've
Yeah.
inspired me too. But enjoy it. Have fun when you guys go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.